People often say that guy got lucky when they see someone succeed. But luck is just a story people tell when they don't see the effort behind the scenes. Success is never about magic. It's not something that just happens while you're sleeping. It's something built with late nights, early mornings, and many times quiet sacrifices. The problem is, people like to look at the result, not the journey. They see the house, the car, the lifestyle, and they say, wow, he's lucky. But they didn't see the rejection letters. They didn't see the moments of doubt. They didn't see the time when everyone said no and he still said yes to himself. If you spend your life waiting for luck, you'll be waiting a long time. Luck might visit once, but hard work shows up every day. When people don't understand what you're doing, when they think you're wasting your time, that's usually when you're building something real. You're creating habits, building character, developing the kind of mindset that success needs to survive. Luck is a lottery ticket. Hard work is a strategy. One is hoping, the other is building. When I started out, I wasn't the smartest. I didn't have resources. I wasn't from a rich family. But I had something more powerful than luck. I had consistency. Every day I worked, even when nothing changed, even when it felt like no one cared. Because deep down, I knew that the only way to guarantee no success was to stop working. That was the only sure failure. So the next time someone says, you're lucky, just smile. Let them say it. Because they don't see the nights you work with no reward. They don't see the quiet battles you fought alone. But you know, and one day that consistency will turn into something they'll call success. They can call it luck. You'll know it was work. If you wait for luck, you will wait forever. I've seen so many talented people with big dreams, but they sit and wait. They wait for the right moment, for someone to notice them, for life to give them a sign. And in the end, they're still waiting. Time doesn't wait for anyone. The world doesn't pause just because you haven't started yet. If you don't move, if you don't take action, nothing changes. People say, I'm waiting for the right opportunity. But the truth is, opportunity doesn't knock on doors that are closed. You have to build the door first. Opportunities are created by people who are ready, not people who are lucky. If you're not prepared, even when a chance comes, you won't recognize it. You'll be too slow, too unsure, too afraid. But if you've been working, building your skills, learning, failing, improving, then when the opportunity comes, you'll be ready to grab it. Success doesn't come to the person who waits. It comes to the one who prepares without guarantee. When we were just starting out, nobody believed in us. We didn't have funding experience or even a clear model. But we didn't wait. We moved, we tried, we failed, and every time we failed, we adjusted. Step by step, we created the opportunities we couldn't find. We didn't wait for someone to help us, we helped ourselves. That's what makes the difference. You don't need to be the best in the world to begin. You just need to begin. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. Too many people are sitting, hoping, praying for something big to happen to them. But hope is not a strategy. Prayers alone won't build your future. If you want something, you have to go out and create the conditions for it to exist. Work when others are sleeping. Learn when others are distracted. Build when others are talking. Because while they wait for luck, you are building your moment. And when it comes, they will say, you're lucky. But only you will know how long you worked for that moment to arrive. Don't wait for luck. Be ready so you don't need it. Hard work is the only investment that never loses value. Markets change, economies go up and down, technology moves fast. One day something is trending, the next day it's gone. But hard work, it never expires. It's the one thing that always has value, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. Skills can become outdated, positions can disappear, but the discipline you build through hard work stays with you forever. That's something no one can take away. When I see young people today, many of them are chasing shortcuts, fast money, quick success, overnight fame. But anything that comes fast usually goes fast. Real growth, real success comes from years of effort. It's not exciting every day. In fact, most of the time it's boring. Repeating the same things. Failing, fixing, improving slowly. But that process, that habit of working hard, no matter what, that becomes your greatest asset. The value of hard work is not just in the result, it's in who you become because of it. When you work hard, you become stronger. You learn how to handle pressure. You learn how to solve problems. You build confidence not because someone praised you, but because you earned it through struggle. That's something no crash in the market can take from you. Even if you lose everything, if you still have the habit of working hard, you can build it again. I've seen people lose companies, lose jobs, lose money, but because they had the mindset, the grit, they stood up again. They didn't panic. They didn't blame others. They just went back to work. And slowly they rebuilt, sometimes even stronger than before. So when people ask me what they should invest in, I tell them invest in yourself. In your ability to show up every day, especially when it's hard. That's the one thing that will pay you for life. Not always in money, but in strength, resilience, and opportunity. The market can crash, the world can change, but your effort will always hold its value. Failure is not bad luck, it's part of learning. I know when you fail, it hurts. It feels personal. It feels like you're not good enough, like maybe you made a mistake chasing something too big. But the truth is, everyone fails. And the ones who succeed are not the ones who avoid failure, they're the ones who understand it's necessary. You can't build anything meaningful without facing setbacks. You can't improve without being tested. The problem is, most people think failure is the opposite of success. But actually, failure is the path to success. It teaches you more than any book, any seminar, any mentor. It teaches you through pain, through experience. It shows you what doesn't work so you can get closer to what does. That's how real learning happens. Not in the comfort zone, but in the uncomfortable moments where things fall apart and you have to figure out how to keep going. In my early days, I failed so many times I lost count. Failed pitches, failed projects, failed plans. Sometimes I felt stupid. Sometimes I felt embarrassed. But every time I asked myself one question, what did I learn? If I could take even one small lesson from that failure, then it wasn't a loss. It was part of the process. And little by little, those lessons stacked up. I became better not because things got easier, because I got stronger. Some people quit after one or two failures. They think it's a sign they're not meant for it. But success is not about who gets it right the first time. It's about who stays in the game. Who adapts? Who refuses to quit? Every successful person you admire has a long list of failures behind them. But they didn't let those failures define them. They used them. They learned from them. They kept going. You will fail. That's guaranteed. But what you do after that, that's what matters. If you treat failure like a curse, it will stop you. If you treat it like a teacher, it will grow you. Failure isn't your enemy, it's your greatest lesson in disguise. People who succeed treat every day like day one. They don't act like they've already made it. They don't relax just because something worked yesterday. They show up every morning with the same hunger, the same focus, the same drive to improve. That's the mindset that separates the people who grow from the people who fade away. Success is not something you achieve once and then hold on to forever. It's something you have to earn again and again. The biggest danger after a little success is comfort. Comfort makes you slow. It makes you forget the effort that brought you here. And once you stop growing, you start falling behind. The world keeps moving, competition keeps rising. And if you're standing still, you're already losing. I've seen people get a small win and they celebrate too early. They think it's done. They stop learning, they stop listening, and slowly their success disappears. That's why the day one mindset is so important. On day one, you are humble. You ask questions. You work hard. You take nothing for granted. You know there's a long way to go, and that keeps you sharp. It keeps you alert. That hunger, if you can keep it alive even after success, then you'll keep building. You'll keep growing. You'll keep moving forward. I still wake up every day thinking, what can I do better today? Not because I'm afraid, but because I know the journey never really ends. There's always a next level. Always a new challenge. Always more people to serve, more problems to solve. That's what makes the work meaningful, not the destination, but the discipline to keep going. You can't rely on yesterday's energy to solve today's problems. Every morning is a new start. You bring everything you've learned, but you leave behind the ego. The ones who last are the ones who stay hungry, stay curious, and keep showing up with the same fire they had when they were just getting started. Success doesn't belong to the one who had a good day. It belongs to the one